Hey, great Monday morning. It is a beautiful morning. It is a beautiful morning in the city of Brownsville, Texas. And I was it's kind of crazy, but one of the no, yeah, accusations. Uh, One of the things I think that I really trips me out about that trips me out about a lot of folk here is how very um, how little they know how social media works. And I say that because one of the things, and I'll make mention of this, today's show is going to be very interesting. I say that because one of the fights that I had with when I was on the school board with Drew and with Prisi and of course Sylvia and Minerva was they were going like, oh well this, and I said like guys, I said, you just don't understand how social media works. And I'd say that guys, you don't understand how social media works. And I say that to the point one time that we were discussing, I think a lot of things that were going on, and Drew says, "Erasmo, you always say that, but we have a following too. Of course, not a following as big as mine, but we have a following too. So we know how social media works." I said, "No, you don't. You do not. You do not grasp onto the concept." And I think that happens with a lot of folk that started to be very skeptical well, started off being very skeptical in regards to social media, and you know weren't on it too much, and were kind of forced to get on it because it's the number way to market yourself. It's the number one way to go out there and let individuals know, keep them informed. And of course, I had the largest following, I think, in our area in regards to folks. I would dare to say that one time I actually checked a lot of like our top elected officials out here, and whilst I had hundreds of thousands of followers, they had in the tens of thousands, tens of thousands. So it's just a big difference, and the dynamics start to be different as well. The dynamics become different, and I say that because one of the things that and we are going to talk about the happenings with Captain Bob. What one of the oh for a minute there I thought you didn't have a shirt on. Se están limpiando los oídos. Good morning, Frankie. That's Frankie. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Erasmo. Thank you for inviting me on your show. I was I apologize, I'm a bit late. I was contemplating whether I should put on a shirt or not, but then I figured, oh no, I'll probably get canceled.
I think
So, um, um,
wearing a shirt is optional, but recommended.
right, right, right. But it's like people say, oh, we have freedom of
Mhm.
speech, so whatever I say is okay. I'm like, well, yeah, but once we start wishing ill will on other people, that's where it gets across the line. But nonetheless, it's been a very, very interesting weekend. Very, very interesting.
Well,
And it seems like it's playing out like a movie. It's pretty
yeah.
crazy.
Well, and I was saying while you were putting on a shirt, I was saying that I used to have these little struggles with like a lot of folks out there, like with when I was aboard with Tracy, Drew, and Sylvia, because they would go out there and say, "Oh," I would tell them, "Guys, y'all don't know how social media works." And they didn't have a clear concept, and they were like, "Well, we have a following. We know how social media works." I said, "No, you don't." And I think that that's what happens with a lot of folk, like a lot of the new individuals that come out and want to do, what we've been doing, frankly, I think for 5 years now, isn't it? 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, time
and
flies.
and a lot of people, all of a sudden were like, oh well, I want to do shows, I want to do shows, and they've come and they've gone because I think they don't understand how taxing it is, how difficult it really is to put on shows and continue on with shows that have a little bit of a substance or that are relevant to what's going on in the community today. It's not easy, you know. A lot have come, most have gone, and some are still struggling at certain junctures of the road to find to find their niche, and that's all you have to do. You have to find your little niche. I think you and I had this conversation uh, last week in regards to how our styles are even different. I need to feed off someone. I need to have someone there, and I'm a needy person. But I've said that, and you're more in tune to having a little bit more structured. And you mentioned that, and we all have to find our little niche. What works for me that doesn't necessarily have to work for you, for work with anyone else out there. But and I say that because a lot of times it's like there's a lot of pages out there that are trying to do all the Erasmo thing. I even caught our former mayor Trey Mendes, and I said, "Hey, bro, that's my job." And starting to do a lot of the things that I've been doing for the past 10, 12 years. And again, sometimes, and I know this happened with, I had a conversation with the folks like at Bronzeville Online. I had a conversation with them because they were going like, "Oh, that's what we came to talk to you for some other reason." Because, "Well, we were kind of skeptical about talking to you because we thought that maybe you didn't like us." Right? Like, no, man. I mean, I'm glad that y'all are out there putting content in regards to promoting restaurants and different things out there. I mean, more power to you. I mean,
I don't even know who you are.
yeah, I said, it's okay. I see. I'm glad that y'all are doing it. It doesn't bother me, man. And now, the Pulga page is going out and doing the Erasmo thing. More power to them. I don't own local social media. I'm just the king of it, and that's okay. I'm okay with it. Although you think that Captain Bob was the king of all local social media, but then that's okay too. I mean, you could have your opinion in regards to that. I'm not going to say that one page is better than another page. I mean, more power to folks. I mean, it's like a buffet. You got a wide variety to choose from, and you can go with it anywhere you want. I don't control local airways. And more power to folks. And if more people want to go out there and share posts in regards to promoting business or put up posts in regards to the issues with streets or accidents, go for it. Get padre. It's great stuff. I even share some of your crap from
Yeah, I don't share none of yours.
I forget.
No, I, I agree. Everyone has either their everyone has their different audience, which is geared towards or attracted to different things. I think it's important that we continue to do, promote either businesses or what's going around in our local area. In regards to Captain Bob has a lot of potential. What affects him is
Captain
Captain
Bob.
Bob. Captain Bob, if you're listening, get a camera, get Wi-Fi, get get mics, and man, you have a good you have something to that you can work with. Just focus a little bit more and keep on hitting it hard. People do want to talk about what's going on. Everybody's trying to diminish what he has to say because of his past transgressions. He says that he's at least attempting to better himself and his family, and good for him. Who shouldn't root against that, right? But everybody has their own talent. We just have to find what works for us, what we're passionate about, and just keep on plugging. And trust me, the more consistent you are, it's gonna rub off people. People are gonna like that.
And let me say, I'm glad you mentioned that because one of the things that I have mentioned to him several times, that Captain Bob, get a little laptop, a computer, something a little bit more formal where you could don't have to have the phone like a mile away. We've said that. I mean, spends money on other crap. I mean, might as well spend money on upgrading. I mean, all this stuff that we bought, we've had to buy microphones, we've had to buy cameras, multiple cameras actually. Uh, Green screen, which I decided to take off. I just got tired of having to push it back and forth and all this other stuff. But we've invested in it. I mean, to the point that one of the things that I had originally wanted this office space of mine for was to make a little type of studio. It's just very, very time consuming, and I haven't been able to get to that point yet. But I'm hoping that in time I'm able. Well, now that I have more space, because I'm renting another office. Now that I have more space, it might give me that opportunity, to build that little studio. That's what that couch up there was for, actually. To have where the people were going to sit and have the cameras and stuff and all this other thing. But it takes investing, and it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of time, and a lot of times you may not have all that. But going back to Captain Bob, Captain Bob is Captain Bob, and people in the community need to understand that. Uh, Flawed individual, has, as you mentioned, past transgression, has had issues. Has had issues in regards to family matters, in regards to relationships, in regards to, you know, maybe getting a little bit too physical with folks out there. But again, we don't know that. Well, I'm going to rephrase that. We cannot go out there and judge an individual and say, well, he hasn't changed, he hasn't tried to better himself, he's not trying to better himself, because we're not with him all the time. The problem is that uh, the problem is with having these types of shows his show, the CBS show. Problem is that once you start opening your mouth, it's kind of hard not to think that you're still, on the wagon, or you're still having issues, or you still haven't gotten your crap together. And I think that that's one of the demons that plagues Captain Bob. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for him because he has children, and that's my greatest spiel. You've got kids, you've got certain responsibilities, and individuals like ourselves, we don't have that mega burden that most parents should have. You should have that concern in regards to what your kids, what you're planting, que le estás sembrando en la mente y el corazón de tus huercos. Again, that's another big old ballpark out there. But let me say this, that I did go out there and apologize for the show on Thursday, because I wanted individuals to know that, I tried to my best to redirect Captain Bob into something that was a little bit more of a more sane than what we got. But it was very, very unfortunate for I think for Captain Bob, and unfortunate for a lot of the individuals who actually thought that he was sane before. He's an
Again, not bashing the guy. He just needs to be more focused. Invest a little bit in your craft. You have an audience. People do watch you. Just focus. Um, but nonetheless,
well well focused, and stop ranting crap. Stop spewing
hey,
nonsense.
hey. But again, we all have our deliveries. We all have our approach. We all have. Hey, some say yours is bad. Some say mine's awful. It's just that's the way he gets his message across. Also, we appear we shouldn't take things personal. Lately I've been posting a lot about what's been going on in the world. Last week we almost had an assassination attempt on a former president. Some people said, "Oh, they missed and da da da." Da. That's their opinion. That's fine. Um, I just think that there is a lot of potential out there. We just have to respect each other's you know deliveries approach. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Well, yeah, and I want to hit the national with you because I have been seeing that you've been posting a lot of the national stuff on, which is good. So the Captain Bob show is very interesting. Erasmo show is entertaining.
I told you previously he should have like a camera. He should have like a camera crew and turn it into a show. It's gonna hit. You should post more videos, Captain Bob, and you'll monetize off of it. Trust me.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work, but well, but anyway, I think Captain Bob just can't help himself. But Cap, and I made mentioned because let me tell you, I this weekend I got calls from everyone and their mother. I mean, all the way from judges to CPS officers to everything. I got calls, and again, which is I appreciate the calls, and let me tell you, I think that one thing that was constant is a lot of folk out there were concerned for Captain Bob, and I think that that's great, you know. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot of people in the community were concerned about him, and I think that that's why I was getting phone calls. And I'm hoping that Captain Bob works on defeating some of those demons that he has bottled up inside. Again, I like Captain Bob, and someone said like, well, why would you have him on your show? I go like, because he's a Captain Bob. If you don't know that Captain Bob is a ticking time bomb, then you don't know Captain Bob. It's like a lot of people come out and say, well, why do you have Roman on there? I go, Roman's Roman. Roman gets into fights with everyone. I've fought with Roman, but Roman's Roman. Is that they got something to say, and most of the time, it makes sense. Him and Captain Bob, and I'm sure I'm going to get a call after this saying like, "That's what did you try to compare? Are you trying to compare Roman to Captain Bob?" Well, yes, because
Puro loco, chica.
and then I got Frankie got promoted. But what I'm trying to say is that we all have our little quirks, Again, no somos monedita de oro. We're not going to fit in everywhere. We're not that circle peg that fits into the square little thingamajig. But what I'm trying to say is again, I'm hoping Captain Bob, works on those demons. I'm hoping Captain Bob takes it hard. He came out the next day, the next day or on Saturday, to defend his honor. I don't know if you got an opportunity to see that, but wanted to go out there and defend his honor. And we're like, well, it'd be interesting. And I meant to see it, but unfortunately, I actually do work, unlike you and Captain Bob and Roman. And so I saw it afterwards, and let me tell you, I was shocked that I was receiving some of the blame for the feeding frenzy as he went out there and mentioned, and so I responded. I said, Captain Bob, I tried to redirect you, and that's very very obvious by the show that we have. I did my best to try and redirect to get you back on topic, or get you to where you were sounding at least halfway sane. There's only one individual to blame for the feeding frenzy, and I'm hoping that he realizes, because it's a way to start, that he is responsible for his own actions and his own words, and it's not. And going back into what I was saying about a lot of people don't understand how social media works, because then he goes out there and says, "Well, Erasmo was just doing it for the views because he was sharing the video in different places." I said, I responded, "No, it automatically shares. This feed is shared to YouTube, to my candidate page, to my end page, to my personal page. It just shares it all over the place." Again, that's how this system works. But again, it goes back into him not understanding how the concept works. You know what I'm saying? Not having a computer, not having microphones, not having a halfway decent setup. But I think, and this is where I'm going to bash you a little bit, Frankie. I think that a lot of times, because even when we were doing the show, if you go back and look at the comments, Frankie, there was a couple of people that were going like, "Yeah, Captain Bob, yeah, you're right, you're right." They were egging him on. Someone even said that, "Yeah, Captain Bob, the number one podcast south of San Antonio," and that other guy at Osmo, But again, yes, I understand what I'm saying. But what happens is, I think, Frankie, that he starts to believe that crap. So,
In all fairness, Erasmo, I think it was your fault for showing up to the show with clothes on. You should have known. You should have known what you were walking into. Uh, and I agree with you. Everyone that uses their platform to either promote or entertain, we do have some sort of responsibility. We all know that whatever we say, we are going to be judged. How we present ourselves to the world, that's what repercussions we're gonna attract. We are all responsible for what we say, what we post, how we come out. Because to me, it's all about the persona. It's all about the image that people have of you. Um, like I said, he has potential, and just because he has these transgressions doesn't mean that he's not, able to, you know, say what he feels about the city. Is he the best person to do it? Probably not, but you know, who are we? And me in regards to, oh, that's just, like, hey man, throw him a bone, animalo. To me it's not necessarily like, oh, you're egging him on, you're the reason why he blows up. No, like,
well,
again, he's an adult. We
well,
can't blame our
he,
imperfections on other people, in my
he's
opinion.
old. He's old, but an adult. I'm not sure he's totally there yet. My thing is, and again, I always laugh at every time that people are getting him on, or like, oh yeah, 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 cheering him on, and I always take what your post as jokes. But what I'm trying to say is, guys, we need people around us that are going to tell us, the truth. Uh, that's what you sound crazy this morning, or and and let me say, because some people have said that's what, oh, you've toned down your screaming and everything else. I said, well, yeah, because I've had a lot of people say, hey, that's what, try to do this a little bit this way, and it might take a little while, but I think that you could see a progression from Erasmo 10, 12, 15 years ago to Erasmo what the page is now, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud that I've been able to humble myself to the point where I could take feedback from individuals and say, hey, I got to do a little bit better. One of the things that he did mention, which I thought was like kind of crazy, he goes on his video thing. I don't know if you saw it, Frankie, but he goes like, well, and then Erasmo out there, marrying people. Is he pocketing that money? And I responded, I said, you better believe I'm pocketing that money. What did you want me to do with it? Throw it away? You know, it's a service that I provide. But I think he was at that point. And again, we got to stop blaming other individuals for our stupidities. You know, we got to accept that que cuando la cagamos, and and apologize, and wish to that you had done things differently, but more importantly, learn suffice so that in the future, you don't continue to make the same mistakes. O sea, no queremos tropezar sobre la misma piedra constantly, constantly, constantly. And unfortunately for Captain Bob, Frankie, and the history, he's been constantly tropezando, 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 tropezando to this la misma piedra, and it looks like appears like sometimes he looks for the bigger rocks to go y tropezar.
Pues el vato está loco. Like, what, we expect him to be an angel. Like, we know what we get with him. Like, either you take it or you don't. In my opinion, we know what we have. Pa que nos hagamos onzos? Like, it is what it is. Like, if you don't like it, tune them
Tune
out.
out, 100%.
Tune out.
Yeah, yeah, we know what we have, and again, I'm hoping that the community knows what we have, and again, I'm hoping the community, instead of egging him on to continue with his madness, reaches out to him. If you really care about Captain Bob, reach out, give words of concern, which a lot of people did. He went out there and mentioned, even Pedro Cardenas said, uh, went out there and support, and were in support of Captain Bob. I don't think that, and I'm going to say this because I think he kind of thought that we were against him, and I made mention Captain Bob. I mean, I appreciate Captain Bob. I've ran against Captain Bob. Uh, I ran against Captain Bob for mayor of the city of Brownsville. I did way better than he did. Uh, I like Captain Bob. Is he nutsos? Well, yeah, but people could say that about Frankie, and he's okay. And a lot of people say that about me, which is okay. People have your opinions about other folks, and a lot of them have been based on facts. But guys, please, if anyone's out there reaching out to Captain Bob and are friends with Captain Bob, and like what Captain Bob does on that CBS show, God bless them, that's great. Let him know when he's screwing up. Let him know. Hey, Captain Bob, someone needs to discipline that little girl. Someone. You need not be vaping. In the face of the little child when she's sitting there with you. A lot of different little things. That that give a perception, Frankie, that si eso haces, you know, on a live show, what what do you expect on when the cameras are not on you? It just leaves that little semilla of doubt in your brain. And I think that that's what a lot of the phone calls that I got were in reference to it. That's what if that's what he's doing on air, what is he doing when he's not on air? And that's I think what was concerning to most people here. Again, I have not seen. Well, I'm gonna rephrase that. Uh, he made mention in regards to his substance abuse, and made some claims that I fear were not totally true. Because again, I don't criticize anyone for drinking. I love to drink. I love to drink. I like my little drinks. But just go out there. I would never go out there and say, "Well, I'm not drinking," because I know I am. And it's all
Honestly, who cares? It's his life. Let's get on. I feel like there's an intervention for Captain Bob.
that. Well, he's
There's a Dr. Phil moment for Captain Bob.
the Trump. The Trump attempt is just to show to garner more support. That's all. The Trump attempt, the assassination attempt. Yeah, that was a bullet, and there was no pretend. There was no hype or anything else. I mean, are they going to milk it? You better believe it. They should milk it. I mean, the guy came close milliseconds, uh, millimeters away from being dead. You better believe the guys better be milking it. Every right to. Uh, this weekend, we had Joe Biden drop out of the race. It was crazy because even on Thursday, Frankie, on Thursday, it's like the establishment, a lot of people already knew that he was going to drop out this weekend. I think I posted it like on Thursday or something. I can't remember what day it was last week. And I got some people on, some of the left people out here going like, well, that's not true. Fake news and everything else. And we're like, most people already knew that he was going to drop out. He had basically had no choice. My concern, Frankie, is we've been led down a rabbit hole of media lies and cover-ups, and it's something that we experience here locally. We had a newspaper, Frankie. We have Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 23. Channel 23 is dead, gone. Roswell Herald is dead, gone. They've been lying to us for years at a local level by hiding, by covering up a lot of individuals that would constantly pour money into their campaigns. It's the same thing that happened at the national level for years. These guys have been lying to the American people for years, and they've been covering up Joe Biden's incoherencies, Joe Biden's the inability to lead, to serve for years. They all have. They were all a part of it. Now everyone wants to think like, well, it's okay. Now we've got Harris going to, get the nomination. I still would. I still want answers, Frankie. I want to know why the media continued to lie and cover up for Biden and for the Democrats. People should be concerned. And then they go out there, well, all these Fox News people and all these other people, conspiracy theorists and everything else. They were proven right, 100% right. It's like what happened to us with Tanasca, Frankie, for years, bitching about Tanasca. We were proven right. And there's still some people out there that are blinded by Trump hate, to the point where, well, we're going to continue to support the Democrats and we're going to continue to believe the media. I mean, are you stupid?
Yeah, it's very interesting what has been happening. You really ask yourself, who has been running the country. There was a couple weeks ago they said that the president was only active from, I don't know, let's say 9 to 4 p.m. And then somebody questioned, well, who's in charge of after hours? It just goes to show that this last 3 years, this individual will be recognized as somebody that was not doing his job. For a person that's been in politics 40 years, 50 years, that's going to be his ultimate legacy. He got to the position he desired only to be incapable of fulfilling his duties as commander in chief. I think that's going to be his legacy, unfortunately. And there's a lot that's happening. It seems these last 2 weeks have been, how I said earlier, it's been nothing but a movie. It's like an assassination attempt. The president withdraws 100 days before the election. When have we ever heard of this stuff? It's pretty crazy, but it seems as if the Democrats, in my opinion, are going to have a very hard time um, to get this win.
Oh, I'm glad that Elon Musk is on the show today. Thank you for being on, Elon. It's good to see you. Let me go back to David's question. It's a good question. Are you guys going to take part in the 7,000 athletes of games, the games of Texas? Do you think it's ready for it? I think that the city needs it. Again, I applaud anything that comes down here that increases the revenue of our local business, small business, or any business here in Brownsville. I'm sure that the hotels are going to be packed if actually all these individuals come here. So in that respects, I'm hoping that we're going to be doing well. I'm going to believe that there's going to be suffice security in regards to a Brownsville Police Department, maybe even the Sheriff Department, out there helping and assisting in regards to the safety of individuals. We're very fortunate now that we do have, and then someone actually made mention this today. I'm glad that we have three hospitals here. We've got Valley Regional, Valley Baptist, and we've got DHR. I'm glad that we have extra hospitals in case anyone gets hurt out there. It's unfortunate that we don't have enough ambulances, but I'm hoping that other cities in the area are going to, be helping us out in regards to having ambulances out there, because the city still needs to be taken care of during the game. So again, I'm praying that they're prepared. Do you think the city's ready, Frankie?
I'm not sure. I did read a few weeks ago that the city was asking for volunteers to assist with this. I think it's this weekend's event. Um, Whenever you're asking for volunteers, it's a bad thing. Who the hell wants to work for free? Who wants to spend their weekend, 10, 12 hours? Oh yes, I'm helping the city. Que se moche. Like nobody, that's where I kind of scratched my head. I was like, damn, are things that dire that we're asking for volunteers? Um, I don't remember how last year's event turned out. Obviously, I do believe if it was a success, they would have done it this year. But uh, I'm not sure. I honestly think that half of those individuals they stay in the island, but obviously they're still spending their money and their time here locally. But I haven't really kept up with it. Like I said, when I saw the request for volunteers, I knew it was a bad thing.
Frankie, when you're coming over, visit us now on Owens and Boca Chica. Just ask for Master Emilio. Do some good workout and jujitsu rolls. I know some rolls that Frankie has. Panza rolls. Bring me Castro, pero he has to sign a waiver. Ya está viejito. It's true. Captain Bob needs family intervention concerned. The family doesn't want to have anything to do with him. Is Captain Bob thinking his show is the best? Sort of like you thinking you're the king of all social media. I don't think. I know I am. The St. Joe Mafia is just jealous because they don't have a platform. The St. Joe is that the Biden platform or the local St. Joe Mafia? Both. Well, if the community doesn't know, they know now about Captain Bob's message. Almost 30 minutes on Captain Bob. Well, let me tell you, I've been dealing with the Captain Bob debacle or avalanche all weekend. It's just fair and right that y'all get to share in that pain for at least 30 minutes. Yes, but you drink girly drinks. Shirley Temple, never had a Shirley Temple. Cosmopolitan, no. Pina coladas, every so often. Have a manly drink like Jack Daniels. I have I have Johnny Walker with mineral water. Does that count as a manly drink? I do White Russians. I do Negronis, old fashions, and Moscato. Maybe the most manly drink out there. A glass of pink Moscato. No. What else you swallow the lies that Trump has been pushing for years that have been proven false? They're politicians. They all lie. Biden wasn't all 100% truthful in regards to a lot of the characteristics he was mentioning out there. He's all not surprising. Frankie, what else is going on in the community?
I don't know. I haven't been following. Just too much drama at the national level. I really haven't been paying too much attention. I think that's gonna be my focus. More national. This local stuff is boring.
Never a boring day in local politics, Frankie. But I, I, I will agree that the
It's the same drama, different players. These people just stealing, and waving and kissing babies. That's it. It's boring.
well, one of the pictures that I saw this weekend, what I thought was very telling, is having John Cowan uh, in front of Joe Biden, and I thought, no, that's very inspiring. I'm talking drinks, not guys, White Russians. Yeah, Captain Bob. This episode of Erasmo in the Morning is brought to you by Matt White Contracting. Matt White Contracting, the champion of all contractors. I don't exactly know what Matt White does. I know that he does Matt White Contracting. I just not sure what he does. Do you know what Matt does, Frankie?
He's a contractor.
What does that mean? What does he do?
El agarra los vatos. Hey, necesito te jale. Work. All right, pay me. I pay you. I make a profit. Contractor. He builds houses. He does remodeling. He does fixer uppers. He does contracting.
But like,
Whatever you need.
if I need employees, isn't that like a staffing place? I need employees to fix my.
No, it's like a like T9 contracted work. Oh, I need tile people. I either have one or two reliable ones if one's available. I need electrical work. I'll go to someone else. You always go with the people that know. Sometimes, usually, you have a group of them. Sometimes you have to outsource. It's
Is he like
just a guy. It's just a guy organizing the project. Pretty much, he's a contractor.
is he like a headhunter?
I don't know what the heck headhunter is.
Well, a headhunter is someone that like let's say I'm going to go start a business in McAllen. So I go out there and I find a headhunter, and he goes out there and scopes out the best location, goes out there and gets me the best office decorator. Goes out,
Um, I guess, but like construction wise, yeah, I guess.
but it's only dealing with construction. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, remodeling, construction,
So anything in that arena.
right?
Where do the local neoliberals go to sprue the voice their old, outdated economic model? I do not know. I don't hang with that crowd. A headhunter is a recruiter. Yeah, isn't a headhunter that also gets you like stuff like points you in the right direction?
I have no idea.
Uh, Hey, Gene, I'm done, Frankie. I've done my 40 minutes of Captain Bob.
Thank you for this wasted 40 minutes of my morning.
You did a great job.
Thanks,
Guys,
man.
have a great day. Be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Be good to each other. Continue to be good to me. God bless.